Al, it is time for us to finally finish a story.
Oh,
Oh.
oh.
Oh. We have talked a lot about various other games in this franchise, and somehow we have yet to talk about this one.
Mm-hmm.
Until now.
Until now.
We'll have talked about every mainline game in this franchise after this.
Wow, that's crazy.
I believe that'll be the case. Well, yeah. Interesting things. Anyways, hello, welcome to this week's episode of Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, and manga. Hello, I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc, Hal, and Lady
Hello.
This is episode number 490. And we're going to talk about The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
It's coming up on its 20th anniversary this year.
It sure is coming
That's
up on its 20th anniversary
crazy.
this year.
Crazy.
Yep.
It's diabolical even.
Yep.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, as Al said, this is a nearly 20-year-old game. This was the Wii launch title, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That you had to buy. I mean, you'd also argue Wii Sports was, but that just came packaged in.
Yeah, that was back in.
Yeah. This game came out on the Wii on November 19th, 2006 in North America, on December 11th, 2006 on the GameCube in North America, on December 2nd, 2006 in Japan, the 7th and 19th in Australia, and the 8th and 15th in the EU. It also received a Wii U version.
It did, and it's still on the Wii U.
HD version of it, quote unquote, which came out on March 4th, 2016 in North America and the EU, on March 5th in Australia, and March 10th in Japan. And then also got an NVIDIA Shield TV release in China in December of 2017, which I think is just the regular game, but with a different upresing of it.
Oh.
Different from the HD version, I think, is the...
I see. Nahone.
The thing about it. But yeah, this is it's an interesting game because, like, it is, out of all of the mainline titles nowadays, it's like the one that is probably the hardest to play.
Mm-hmm.
Since everything else is basically on... Like, you can play pretty much all the other mainline games on the Switch. Or Switch 2, except this one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's people have been begging for the Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD re-releases because both of them are stuck on the Wii U.
Yeah, especially the Wind Waker one because it has so many good like quality of life changes.
Quality
from
of life
the original
changes.
One.
I tried to play the original Wind Waker recently, and I was like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah,
Cannot.
I don't know what all of the Wii version, or not the Wii U version of this game did differently. I know like there's
Twilight Princess?
Yeah, Twilight Princess. Like there's amiibo support, and I think there's like
an
extra
stamps.
dungeon. Yeah, there's stamps and everything, but I don't know if it did anything else super different. I think you played it.
I did.
Do you remember if it did anything super different? Or is it
the
more
biggest thing I remember is the stamps.
Okay, so it's basically more or less just the same game.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I think it has like a harder difficulty mode added in.
Sure.
But that's all I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously nothing as substantive as like the big changes they made with Wind Waker.
Yeah, which they kind of like overhauled that game for sure.
Yeah.
This was a critically acclaimed game at its release. It had a 96 out of 100 and 95 out of 100 on the GameCube and Wii versions, respectively. The Wii U version has an 86 out of 100. It won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Game of the Year awards in 2006.
Wow. Coming in late, too.
Yeah. Which I think 2006 in video games is a pretty stacked year.
Yes, it is.
I mean, this is the PS3 and Wii are coming out. 360's been out for a year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Twilight Princess, Gears of War, Oblivion, Okami, Guitar Hero 2, Final Fantasy 12. Elite Beat Agents.
Good game, good game.
Yeah, some big games came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the interesting thing about this, like, and also it sold really well as well because of course it's a Zelda game, and it was a launch title for the Wii. I think the story is like they made far fewer copies for the GameCube version, right? Like that made it like a much rarer title or something.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, except for they were trying to get people to buy Wii's,
Yeah, absolutely.
which I did.
But yeah, I think it's been interesting in the years since this game has come out. It's had like a completely different reputation, I feel like, in the 20 years since. Where like it's almost become like a forgotten part of the main games essentially. I think that's a byproduct of it just not being readily available to play.
Yeah.
On a lot of stuff, and just like it doesn't feel like it has as much acclaim as it did at its launch now.
So one thing to know about Zelda fans
Oh boy, here we go.
is that Zelda fans,
Fickle.
yeah. So at launch, they'll be like, "This is the greatest game I've ever played in my life. This is incredible. This is game breaking. This is like the best thing I've ever touched in my life." And then like 2 years later, they're like, "That game sucked. Like that game was ass, total butts." And it happens every single Zelda title, every single one that I've been like a coherent human being, to play these games. And I say that like basically post Link to the Past, because Link to the Past was the first like big one that I like locked in on. Um, Although I played Zelda 1 and 2, but that's beside the point. Um, but this is a thing. Like Wind Waker is the exception because people hated Wind Waker on launch and then eventually like, wait, never mind, Wind Waker's actually great. But every other one, it's like, wow, this is incredible. It's so good. And then like a year or two later, they're like, oh, this game is ass. Like they did the same thing with Breath of the Wild. They did the same thing with Tears of the Kingdom. Skyward Sword was the exact same way.
But I feel like a lot of those games also kind of like had a flip around where like people are like, oh yeah, no, these are good games. Whereas I feel like this game and like Skyward Sword I think is also just like is another conversation for that. But like this game in particular has like not really had that like swing in the other direction of people giving it back its props, I think, in a way.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you're right that that's because of the accessibility of it. Is that like people haven't played it in 10 years?
Yeah. And I mean, I played this game in 2007. That was when I got my Wii. This was the game
I played it in 06.
I bought for my Wii. This is the first Zelda game I ever beat.
That's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
And like like I beat it and everything, but like I didn't really have fond memories of it. Like I was one of those people who was like, yeah, the opening of this game is way too long. Takes a long time to get going, and then just obviously I played it once and then didn't go back and play it again, so maybe that was another aspect of this. But like a lot of it was also just kind of like I just forgot a lot about this game. And I guess we should mention that like the reason we are talking about this game and the reason we replayed it and everything is that the decompilation of it came out recently, which makes it a little bit more accessible to play.
Yeah.
And everything. So like this was the first time I played like the GameCube version of this game. So I got to play this with like an actual controller and stuff like that, not just wagging my arm around and everything.
I do think it makes it a better game without having to do the waggles.
Yeah, yes, 100%. Like say what you will about Skyward Sword, like that game also has motion controls, but they definitely figured them out more so in that game, I think, especially because like they made you use the special doohickey for the Wii.
Yeah, the thing that clicks on it.
The motion plush. Not plush.
Plus. Yes.
Which gives you better tracking and everything. So like they're able to, hone
It
in on
worked a
that
lot
way
better.
more. Whereas this was just like, uh,
Wiggle your arm, have fun.
motion controls, I guess. I don't know.
Oh man.
But yeah, like I didn't have fond memories of this game really. You
So
know,
that's so interesting to me.
and like I'd gone through and played all the other games. Since then, like it was, basically meeting you, I played through basically everything else.
You mean I made you play Zelda games?
I know, I
What?
know, I know.
Crazy.
And had good times with all of those and everything, but never went back and played Twilight Princess because also like it was just there wasn't a really easy way to go and do that per se. I mean, there was like I could have emulated it, but just never
We
went around
don't
and did it.
we don't we don't talk about illegal things on the
Never,
podcast.
never ever.
No, we
Um,
are good boys and girls here.
and I think that also goes as far as saying that when we did a podcast where we ranked all the Zelda games in 2021,
Oh, I'm curious where Twilight Princess ended up for you. I don't remember.
which this was prior to Tears of the Kingdom, Echoes of Wisdom coming out,
Hmm.
the third Hyrule Warriors game, maybe something else as well. I don't remember. We put that game out of 24 games. We put it at 15th.
Okay. I wouldn't have put that there now.
I mean, to be fair, you probably wouldn't have put it there then as well. It's probably me just being like a little stinker about it.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right. Um, yeah, there are several things here that I'd probably move around looking at this now.
Yeah, I mean, it's we did do this like almost 5.5 years ago, so.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Um, and yeah, like that's interesting to me because again, I'm like the Zelda fan. I've
Mhm.
mentioned this so many times on the podcast, but like Zelda means a lot to me. It's a big part of my life. I love the games. I play them all the time. Um, but Twilight Princess was one that I do actually have a lot of fond memories about. Um, and like going back and replaying it this time was like this game.
Yeah, it's very interesting going back and replaying this again because like I feel like a lot of the talk about this game and like one of the reasons why they kind of changed things up for Skyward Sword and then eventually for Breath of the Wild is
Mhm.
that people were this was like basically the same game that they had been making since Link to the Past. It's the same formula essentially.
Yep.
Um,
Collect three things, then collect more things.
yeah, go to dungeons, do all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
And that was a talking point for a lot of people when it came to this game. And now going
Yeah.
back and replaying it, like I don't necessarily obviously I think that is true to a point,
Yeah.
and the fact that the framework is that,
Yes.
but it is
Of course.
it does things differently than what you might expect. Like this isn't them just doing Ocarina of Time again or Link to the
Right.
Past again.
Right.
Like I mean, Wind Waker they were doing their own thing. This game they're also kind of doing their own thing as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, let me not beat around the bush here. I played through all this game
Hmm.
again,
Hmm.
playing with the controller, which was very nice.
Hmm.
I liked this game way more than I really thought I was going to.
It's a really good game. Like the dungeons are super creative and fun. The character designs are gorgeous. Like,
Some of them do. I mean, some of the stuff does kind of show its age, but that's mostly just like
mm,
texture work and all that sort of stuff.
right, right. But even like NPCs, like I said, Agatha is super cool looking. Telma is beautiful. Like I love her design. Um, and the like resistance team that you've got, like they all have really unique designs.
Hmm.
Link himself looks cool as hell. Like that's probably my favorite Link design. I mentioned that to you the other day that like the chainmail and like the darker hair and all that, like it looks really, really cool. I like it a lot. And then, of course, the most beautiful Zelda. Like, hands down, this is the most beautiful Zelda they've ever done. She's so pretty. She's so pretty. And then like Minda in both of her forms. is also super interesting to look at. Zant, super cool to look at.
Oh, he's a freak.
He is a freak. I was gonna ask you, you know the part in the spring where he like lowers the bottom part of his mask and like talks to Link and he's got like that weird stuff in his mouth?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's spit or do you think he has like weird mouth strings?
Maybe he's got weird mouth strings, or maybe that's just like his weird powers.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, are you just slobbering on him? What's happening? um
Ganon looks like a unit.
I mean, again, like his design, this is probably the best Ganondorf design, like period. And then it, like even his pig form is cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like the designs in this are beautiful.
Which again is interesting because this is them coming off of Wind Waker.
Yes.
Wind Waker and also Minish Cap.
Yes.
Where which is like a very completely different design aesthetic from this entirely. Like obviously this is the mature Zelda game that the people wanted when they were talking about Wind Waker, and
yes,
you kind of get it here. I mean, this is like, it's not necessarily like, oh, we're making adult Link Zelda game.
Yeah, it's not like Grimdark.
Like, they kind of weirdly make like a horror game in this, which is not something you would really expect from like a Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, they do a lot of really creative stuff. Like even having to like switch between Link and the wolf form to like solve puzzles and everything was really fun and creative. I was watching you play Snow Peak and I was like, I love this dungeon. Usually ice dungeons I do not like because it always has some kind of sliding block puzzle and I don't like those. But Snow Peak is just so charming and whimsical, even though like something horrible happened in those ruins, and I don't know what it is, but like there are cannons and like the walls are deteriorating and there's like armor and people are probably dead. And then you just have these two Yetis who decided, all right, we're gonna live there now. And they love each other, and he's got ultra riz.
He sure does.
My God, does he got that ultra riz?
But
like it's so charming, and like a lot of the dungeons are like that. They're really, really interesting and fun, and like do things a little bit different than what you'd expect. And so it's not like I said, it's not grimdark. It is more realistic, but you still get like some whimsy in there too. Like you get to learn how to sumo wrestle as Link.
You sure do. A lot of asses are out.
A lot of asses are out.
You can see that Goron butt. You can see a lot of monkey butt. There's that one giant monkey who just butts jiggles the whole time. And it's like, what are we doing here, Nintendo?
That big red butt?
Yeah. Just out there.
He is making them cheeks wiggle.
It's something.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of going back to what you're talking about, like, I think one of the things that yeah?
I forgot to mention Mallow.
Yeah, Mallow's a little freak.
He's a little freak.
Little capitalist freak.
His design's also really fun. Anyway.
It is very funny. But again, I think one of the things that, like, when I first played this game, I didn't necessarily like. I just, again, like I said, this is the first Zelda game I ever beat. Like, I had played before this Link to the Past, Zelda 1, Zelda 2, the Oracle games, Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, and just never beat them. Because like I would just get to parts and I would just kind of fall off or get stuck and I just not know what to do and all that sort of stuff.
And didn't you like play different genres of games at that time?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I remember getting frustrated with this game a lot in terms of just like the dungeons and everything, and just I think that was also just a thing of like I was not, used to or familiar with the Zelda game design and everything all that much. And just wasn't playing games like this at the time. And I think, playing it nearly 20 years to say, after the fact, I'm way more acquainted with how these games do their stuff and everything. I've played a ton of these games now. I've played a ton of games in the years since then. Like it's over half my life. I've played more games since when I first played this game. So I'm just like more used to things, and like it really was not that bad. Like I didn't really have any frustrating elements. Like the opening part I remember it taking like, I felt like it took like 7 hours when I first played it. Breeze through it. Like, the only thing that's bad about the opening part of this game is that it is just like, it doesn't necessarily do the best job of communicating what it wants you to do.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of like just figure things out on the fly and talk to everyone and kind of like figure things out that way. But once you kind of get it, like, it just kind of, you're going through it, you flow through it, and like you're kind of just over it, and then you're off doing Zelda stuff. The dungeons were pretty straightforward. Like, there wasn't anything that I got like super stuck on.
Right.
I looked up a few things. I think it was just like
Like
the
ice
sliding,
block puzzles.
the ice block puzzles, yeah, because I just didn't want to beat my head against that. But I did.
Yep.
Hey, I did do one of those later when I got a heart piece, and there was one. It was just like, do 3 of these ice block puzzles back to back to back, and I did them all myself. So
Nice, good job.
flex on them.
Where is that?
It's somewhere in the open world. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of those things where I think
I'll
you
look
need
for
like it might be one of the things you do when you're going and moving the statues and getting the sky letters.
Aha. Yeah,
I think it might have been one of those areas. But there was
Okay.
also something else I think I looked up as well that I was just like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, I remember the ice dungeon feeling like it took like 70 years, and that one I just breezed through. I remember the claw shot dungeon, the sky dungeon, felt like it. I remember that one being a very frustrating experience. No problem.
Yeah, you were
No
doing
issues
great
with
going
it.
through that one. I fell asleep, but you were doing great with it.
But yeah, like, there's just a lot of stuff in this. I just like, there's a lot of stuff I did not remember at all. Like, there was the spider boss I texted you about. I was like, boy, did I block this out. That was my Resident Evil shark moment.
Yep. I'm in that dungeon now, so I'm waiting to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I didn't remember. There's also some stuff I was like, oh, right, this is the thing. This is the thing. Like, I feel like I remembered the things I remembered from this game in my memory was like the beginning of the game, some very brief parts of like various dungeons, and then the end of the game. That was kind of
like,
it.
Because the final fight's pretty cool too.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I was able, like, the puzzles weren't that difficult or anything. It wasn't like, oh god, I gotta use a walkthrough through all this. Like, nah, not really. Wasn't really difficult in terms of like challenge or anything. Which I think also is just a byproduct of like, man, playing it with a controller is so much easier.
It's so much easier.
You don't have to use motion and do all this stuff to do all the special moves and everything. It's like, no, you just press some buttons. You're good.
Also, it's got some like really like odd, funny moments in it. Like if you go to Agatha with bugs in your pocket, but don't give her all the bugs and leave. Like as you're leaving, she's like, I smell bugs on you.
I didn't do that, so that's funny.
Yeah, she like freaks out because she knows you have new bugs and you didn't give them to her. Or like if you there's the little place by the forest temple where there's a bird who runs the shop for the other guy.
Yeah.
And if you don't pay him enough, like as you're leaving, he like calls you out for being cheap.
The first time I went there, like, I didn't buy anything and I just gave him money. He was like, whoa, thanks.
Yeah, so you can also overpay him, and he's like, you're so generous. Wow. You can come back. But like stuff like that is interesting, that it's like a dynamic world in a sense, that like it feels like you're actually interacting with some of these characters as opposed to them just being like characters you have to go and do a quest for.
Yeah, it definitely feels like this is like the first game they tried to, like, I know this is kind of like a silly term, but like it's the most they try to make this like a cinematic game than they had in the past, and really did an emphasis on like cutscenes and storytelling and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like the whole like Midna's Lament section where like Midna is thrown into the light world and you're still a wolf and you have to get her to Zelda, and like the beautiful piano songs playing. Like that's such an intense moment, and it's beautifully done. And you get help from Telma's little kitty cat.
Yep, I do like talking to all the animals when you're Wolf Link.
Yeah, and also this game's great because you can pick up cats.
Yep, just pick up cats and dogs and just run away with them.
Yep. Link's picking up all the critters, and the fishing. At least the boat fishing is pretty fun. The like arm fishing just off a deck or whatever. Like
Hmm.
it's what it is.
Yeah.
It's funny because Link's arm is all floppy because it's based on the motion. So he basically just has like a weird like brr, brr, brr arm. Um, but you know, I always have to mention the fishing.
Of
You
course,
can
of
you can
course.
fish up a bottle, which is fun.
Sure, I went and did that.
Did you?
Yep.
I told you it was there.
Hmm.
Um, but like things happen like even again like the Malamart thing is that like you donate to him or like you work with some folks with the spring water and all that and
Some of
like
the Gorons, yeah.
yeah and you get the bridge built back and then Malamart opens because he takes over the like store in downtown Castletown that won't let you in because your shoes are dirty
And then
and
like
then
everyone afterward, like all the NPCs are like going around carrying
the
Malamart
Malamart
bags.
bags. It's really fun. And then, the Gorons come down after you finish the Goron temple and they're like, yeah, man, sorry about that. That sucked. Um, or like,
Let
the
me tell you
Zora
something, brother.
the Zora Prince, like you find him at his parents' grave at one point, and then you have to like talk to him and he's like, yeah, I gotta go be the ruler of my people.
Hmm.
Um, so like things are happening around you that's not like directly impacted, like you're not doing them exactly like with Malamart
It's
you
an
are because you're
ever
donating.
it's an ever evolving world in a way
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
these games kind of didn't really do. Which I mean, that could also just been like a thing of like it's a technical aspect of
Yeah, of
can we do
course.
this and everything. But like this is really kind of like the first game they really kind of put an emphasis on that for sure.
Yeah, it has a lot more like life to it, which I really liked. I like that you can go check on like Elia and see like how she doing with her memory.
Hmm.
Um, I love the character development of Colin, where he's like a really scared dude and he's getting bullied all the time, and then like he becomes a brave little kid who wants to save people, and
Hmm.
I'm like, good for you, kid.
Like there's a part where like you find like after you find all the kids in Kakariko, like you could just go back to the original village and like go and tell everyone like, oh yeah,
Mm,
they're all back there.
yeah, you
Everyone's
go
like,
tell their
oh
parents,
great,
and they're so happy.
like
But
thanks for
even then,
telling
like
me.
you go to the mayor, and he's like, all right, so what about my kid? And you're like, ooh,
You want to teach me
ooh.
sumo?
Which that's something I mentioned to you is that this is by far the most jacked Link we've ever gotten.
Yeah, he's a thick little boy.
He's a thick unit.
That's a very weird way to describe that, but it already came out.
I,
He's a unit. That's the way to describe it. Yeah.
yeah, because he's a farmhand basically.
Hmm.
Like he wrestles goats for a living.
I mean, like
Um,
even outside of that, like this is I think structurally it's an interesting game because like Link and Zelda really don't have anything to do with each other.
yeah, no, there's like no relationship there whatsoever. They don't know each other. They barely talk to each other.
They are allies by association, essentially.
Yeah, like
They
Midna is your princess here.
yeah, which I mean she's just basically the Navi of this game, but they made her an
Mm,
actual character.
hmm
Um, you
Little
don't hear about
gremlin.
Ganon until
Until
like
Arbiter's
halfway
Grounds.
through the game.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, by the way, there's this dude named Ganon, and you're like, oh, right,
Which
because
man, that execution scene at Arbiter's Grounds where they like throw the sword through his belly and then he like rips it out and kills that other guy. Crazy work
hmm.
there. Crazy work.
Yeah,
Man. Yeah, this game it's really, really good. I'm still playing through it for my like, playing through this version of it.
hmm.
Um, but like I also played it on the Wii U and I've probably played it a lot more than you have in general.
Yeah, because I played
Um
it once, and that was it.
Um, and I've played it several times. I really do like this game quite a lot. I think that it just did a lot of interesting things that I don't think people really give it credit for.
Yeah, and again, I think that's a byproduct again of just it's not as accessible to play it, which is the problem, and where people just they don't have the means to just like go out and easily pick it up and play it again to see if like, oh, is this how I remember it, or are my thoughts correct about this game? So like they just rely on their thoughts from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever. But yeah, again, I think I was very pleasantly surprised at just how much I enjoyed playing this game and how much I just was not expecting to have such like a flip of an opinion on this game.
Heck yeah, and the music's great too.
It is really good, and like there's a lot of like you talked about the character design aesthetics and everything, but like I think a lot of the Twilight stuff design aesthetics is really neat and interesting, especially for like 2006.
Oh yeah,
got this weird like almost like I don't think you would call it like cyberpunky, but like it's very like futuristic when they like like the portals and everything, and like when you go to the Twilight realm, how like all of that is built up and designed and everything. It's it's just very much not what you would expect from a Zelda game.
Right. I'm curious where you would put it now on this list if you were to like re-rank it.
Yeah. So yeah, we had it at 15. It's under Ocarina of Time, which I would definitely put it above Ocarina now.
Yep.
I would put it above Hyrule Warriors.
Okay. Which
I do think it's funny that they have Agatha as a playable character in that game.
They do, yes.
That's very funny.
And the ball and chain from Snow Peak is a weapon that you can do in Hyrule Warriors too.
Yeah. I'd put it above Ocarina of Time 3D. Heck, I might... I mean, to be fair, I think if we redid this list, we would probably shuffle some things around altogether.
Oh yeah. I'm just curious, like where you're thinking. Like, if you had this list without my input at all, where would you put it?
Yeah. Okay, so this is gonna be a little confusing here.
Okay.
I would bump Link Between Worlds above Skyward Sword.
Okay.
And then I would put Twilight Princess between A Link Between Worlds and Skyward Sword.
Okay. So A Link Between Worlds would go up to
7.
And then
Princess
Twilight
would be
Princess
8, and then Skyward would be 9.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I
mean, heck, the only things I need to play left on this list is Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. So eventually I'll get to those, and we'll talk about them at some point.
I mean, the correct answer though is that we have the right bottom one.
Of course.
Yeah.
Would you have a different opinion of where you would put Twilight Princess on this list, or would it be kind of similar? Or would you also do some shuffling to kind of make things work?
I'd probably do some shuffling, but
yeah.
I would probably
Because again, this is also a list that's missing at least two newer games on it as well. So
yeah. I'd probably put it above Wind Waker HD.
Okay.
It doesn't beat Majora's Mask for me, but that's interesting that like the two like most horror adjacent Zelda games
yeah,
are like some of my top tier favorites.
Yeah.
There's something about them that's so interesting.
I mean, there's that scene in one of the light areas where like you have that thing where like Link just like gets all his evil clones and everything, and it's like got no pupils, and it's real f***ed up looking. You're just like, what the hell? What is going on, Nintendo? What were you doing in 2006?
And he's got like that creepy grin, and then like Elia tries to like stab you or something. It's crazy. They
were on something. During this time period, they had to get all of the joy and jolly out of Toon Link out of their system. We're doing a complete 180 on this.
Because it was the story of the interlopers, right?
Yes. Yes.
and why they got banished to the Twilight Realm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and like one of the things that I do find really interesting about this game is that like people talk about in Ocarina how interesting the Shadow Temple is because they talk about like what happened there. Like something horrific happened here. And like it talks about like Hyrule's dark past and like there's always like torture stuff there. Arbiter's Grounds is freaky. Like obviously it's an execution ground
Mm-hmm.
because they executed Ganondorf there, or at least they attempted to. Um, but like there's a lot of stuff in there that was like, oh my God. Oh, hello. Okay. And then, you have the cute little like nod to the pose in Ocarina of Time where you have to like fight the different ones and bring the lanterns back. And then there's the one that like does the circle and you have to figure out which one's the real one. It's like, oh, that's cute. Yeah, Arbiter's Grounds is real freaky. You know who's the real freak in this game? The
Oko.
little, the little chicken thing.
Yeah. Not
That,
wrong.
that thing's a real freak.
Um, but also going off of what you just said, like, there's some wild stuff you can do as Wolf Link in this game. Like, some of the attack scenes that you do as him, violent as all hell.
Oh yeah, like you'll grab a bat with your mouth and
Mm-hmm.
just like violently shake it and throw it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, whoa!
You just grab, you
Yank the
bite.
souls out of the pose.
Yeah, it's just like, what is happening?
Yeah, like
Again, it makes
violently rip the
it
souls
makes
out.
sense why this is like sandwiched in between two more bright, colorful games.
This was their emo phase.
You're not wrong, man.
Oh man, I really do like this game though.
Yeah, it was. Again, like I said, I had a really good time with it. I enjoyed playing through this a second time. Completely different experience than what I had had originally, nearly 20 years ago, and just it shined a completely different light on the game than I had in my mind for the past 20 years, essentially.
We should all hope to have as much Riz as the Yeti man does.
Man, you are not wrong.
That is a wife guy.
You don't need mirror. Look into my eyes and see your reflection. That's the mirror you need.
That's true beauty.
That's true beauty. And she's like,
I was
oh
like,
my
oh.
goodness. And I'm also like, oh my goodness.
Wow. And then all the hearts pop up, and then if you talk to him again, another part pops up. It's really
good.
Cute. It's really cute.
Also, at the end of the game, when they go by the Yeti place, their little heart pops out again.
Yeah. I do also like that I went back to see if I could talk to him about sledding, and I said no at one point. He's like, "Oh, so you hate fun?" I was like, "Damn, okay, man."
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked. I'm just a menace apparently, but yeah, I just think it does a lot of really, really good stuff, and I'm excited to get to like the back part of the game because I am, like I said, at Temple of Time at the moment, which again is another really cool dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, one of the things that I think is like strongest with Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword is the dungeon designs are so freaking good. And yeah, just the whole time I've been playing this game, it's like, I love this. This is fun. This is fun. Yay.
Yeah, so like I'm glad that like the decompilation project of it is out and that it'll make it easier for people to play this game if they want to, but I would also like, for an official re-release of the game to be out there for a much wider audience to be able to go back and replay this game as well, because I think it's one of those games that if you take a second look at it or you haven't played it since it originally came out or it's been a long time, like I think you might come to have a different opinion about the game or just like a new appreciation for the game in general. So many years after the fact.
You know what I think is something that's really sad about Twilight Princess?
What's that?
So I have the like Figmas of Twilight Princess, Link, and Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
And the only two faces that Figma Link has is just like straight faced or yelling.
But he's happy at times. He makes some
He's
fun faces.
he makes some fun. Did you see his face when he goes into the fishing hole? He's so jazzed. But even then, like, this is a boy who like picks up kitties and pets them and picks up dogs and pets them and stuff.
He's
like
pretty emotive.
He's got to have more than two faces, and one of them is just like, what is this? Like, I understand her only having one face. She pretty much only has one face.
I mean, hey, that's also, again, to another point of this game, it's kind of f***ed up. They make you fight Zelda in this game.
Yeah. That puppet Zelda design is wild. But yeah, they make you beat her ass.
It's wild.
Yeah. It's a cool fight, though.
Yeah. But yeah, she basically just has the one face, and that's it. Again, because you only see her, like, a handful of times, and that's it.
Yeah, she's, like, barely there.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. It works fine. Like, she's there when she needs to be. Like, she's not the most important character in this game, and that's fine.
It's just crazy. It's crazy to say.
Yeah. Yeah, like, early in the game, Midna was like, oh, yeah, you're the Twilight Princess. And I was like, that's the name of the game. But, like, it's a double meaning on the Twilight Princess because, like, Midna calls her that, but the actual Twilight Princess is Midna herself.
Mm-hmm.
So, Midna's trying to throw you off by being a weird little goblin.
She sure is a weird little goblin.
Very pretty lady. Yeah, why does he only have two faces? What the heck? I think the Skyward Sword one has the same issue.
Which is even weirder.
Yeah.
Because that boy is very emotive.
Very emotive. They should just let me make decisions for Figma face designs.
It's true.
I would make good choices.
But yeah, that's Twilight Princess. What an interesting turn of events we've had here today. What a song. What a great two pictures of Mallow in the store. Wide Mallow and Tidy Mallow. Along with Statue Mallow. Beautiful.
This is so beautiful. Do you still have the reaction images I made of Mallow?
Oh, maybe.
I'm gonna send them to you.
You made these forever ago.
Forever ago. But anyway, he is one of the greatest things that came out of this game because he's just ridiculous. What a really weird character. He's basically a toddler.
Yep.
And he runs 2 stores. There you go.
Pure gremlin.
What are those eyebrows?
What are those eyebrows? God. What a little freak.
Oh, man. You know, Beth and that other kid aren't quite as memorable as Colin and Mallow.
No.
I don't even remember the one kid's name. It's Mallow's older brother.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, though.
What an experience.
Yay! I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you had fun when you replayed it.
Yeah.
I was enjoying watching you play. I gotta lock in and beat it myself now.
I mean, you're not that far from beating it. You have like 2.5 dungeons left.
Yeah, no, it's not too bad. I've just been busy.
Busy. I know you're a busy bee.
Buzz.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for us this week. So if you'd like more from us, head on over to Checkup.com or SAC.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Jared Now Watch. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Ann Ladium, go to AnnLadium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Blue Sky at Checkup.com. You can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, a critical analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And you can support us on Patreon.com/SACOVA. Buy us a slice of pizza, get access to unedited versions of the podcast early. Our monthly exclusive Patreon podcast. We'll have a new episode of that up soon.
soon.
When
I'm
we
gonna
don't
make
know.
you watch something fun.
It's Al's pick, and she's gonna make me watch something fun.
Uh-huh.
We'll determine. We'll find out if
my
that
definition
if
of
that
fun
definition
is the same.
of fun is true or not, and what exactly it is. Very soon. You can also find the previous episodes of that podcast up there, and a whole bunch of other bonus content on the Patreon as well. Next week we'll have something else to talk about.
I mean, we have Tomodachi Life, we have Inconveni.
We have options.
We have options. We'll see what tickles our fancy.
Yep.
I don't like that phrase. Why did I say that?
Hey, I also said something questionable in this episode, so
Called
we're
him
even.
thick.
We did.